So I talked in January. Hi, guys. I talked in January about being awake, and I talked about the last 18 months of what I've been going through. Where I was homeless for 9 months. I'm going through a divorce. All kinds of fun things that go along with that. In April, I talked about having the struggle of feeling always blessed. Like, is everything in my life coming to me as a blessing? Really? Is that really true? And I struggled with that, right? So it being July must mean that it's my quarterly talk at Inner Light Ministries. And what's interesting is I get to kick off next month's theme in 2 weeks about divine order. Because it's always been divine order that whenever I'm up here and talking about the theme that that Reverend Deborah already produces, it's based on something that I'm going through in real time. So you guys are getting hot off the press, Kim stuff, every time we get to share. So it's kind of a balance of, funny enough, the theme this month is balance. It's a balance of what I talked about in January and what I talked about in April. It's kind of coming together, being awake and struggling with always blessed in order to live a balanced life. So I participate in beach boot camp that Lita and Michelle run, and they're always making us do these planks. You know what I'm talking about? These planks, pretend this is the ground, and you're either standing like this, and you're on your toes, you gotta hold it. They always hold it too long. They always make it, the time, I swear the time goes farther than what they say. Or it's on your elbows, right? But it's all about working the core and spending time on the core. And the time that I spend working on my core depends on how well I do in the other exercises, right? So if I don't do well on my core, how well I do with the other exercises, it's a hit or a miss on how well I do. Also, it helps me to work on my core when my kids come and tackle me from behind, or they want to ride on my shoulders. But isn't that just like life? And when we spend the time, like right now, investing in ourselves and working in our own core, that when life tries to tackle us from behind or adds weight to our shoulders, can we do it? Can we hold on to it? Right? So recently, a lot of hard things have happened in my life. And I have members of my tribe here in the house today. Wave, guys. Members of my tribe here, and even in Florida, online. And they've been watching me go through some really, really tough stuff. And they said, if you're going to be talking about a balanced life, you've got to talk about how on earth are you going through this without not having a freaking nervous breakdown? How are you doing it? You're still smiling. You're still joyful. You're still nice to your kids. Like, how are you doing this with this drama and this chaos going on around you in my personal life, my professional life, and internally? So I thought I would share with you guys the kinds of things that I've been doing, which basically takes the 14 years plus that I've been at Inner Light and actually listening to what Reverend Deborah says and applying it. So the first thing, I have found that I don't find balance, but I create it. So I think of my son. He's special needs, 9 years old. He's slower than most kids his age. He's learning how to balance on his skateboard. And if you've ever tried to balance on a skateboard, if you haven't in 20 years, try it today, see how it goes. It's a lot of work, right? So he's on the skateboard, and, at first he's holding on, right? He holds on to me, anything around, he's holding on. And then slowly, maybe he just drops a hand. And then slowly he starts to drop the other hand. Maybe he comes back a little bit, maybe comes back a lot, but then he lets go. And then he starts wiggling his hips and kind of moving a little bit. And he's getting proud, feeling good and stuff, and then he totally face plants, right? But he gets back up. He gets back up, and he tries it again. And maybe he has to reattach again and hold on. But he still gets back on, and he keeps working on his balance. So I have found that the key to keeping balance is knowing when you're out of it. I would love to hear from you guys. Just shout out Doesn't matter if you step on each other. What does it feel like for you when you know that you're out of balance? What happens? Anxiety, stress, tears, separation, confusion, frustration, anger, loneliness. Excellent. So you guys know when you're out of balance. This is a good sign. Because if you don't, if you're not aware of it, that's when it becomes dangerous. Does that make sense? Because when stuff comes up and we don't acknowledge that we're out of balance, we tend to spread it and pass it on. So somebody said anger. I have to tell this story about what I used to do to release anger. Because it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it's funny now. My 19-year-old self, I get angry at whatever happened. It doesn't even matter anymore, right? But I would, at night, go to 7-Eleven and I would buy a Slurpee. And I would go to a parking lot, an empty parking lot, and I would get out of the car and I would get all the anger mustered up in me, thought about who said what, how I feel about it, get it so angry, and I would just kick the living daylights out of that Slurpee. And it would just go psh, like a Slurpee firework all over the parking lot. It was fantastic. If you get the cherry, it's amazing. So I was very ecological as well because I knew that it would dry up and then I would just throw away the cup. So I left no mess. No one was harmed in the kicking of the Slurpee. And it was kind of silent too. I could release that energy and not have to make a scene. I wouldn't hurt myself. My shoes might smell like Slurpee for a while, but I dealt with that. So that was one of the ways that I handled anger. But the interesting thing is that around that time is when I read the 4 agreements for the first time. And the second agreement, anyone know? Don't take things personally. Don't take anything personally. So as things are said about me or said to me through this stuff that I'm going through personally and professionally, as this chaos and drama invites me to come onto the drama triangle. The drama triangle is victim, villain, hero. So constantly life and drama is asking us to play one of those roles. The thing is that remembering to not take anything personally and recognize that when somebody is saying something to me or doing something to me, that's them. I didn't say that. And I have a responsibility to what Marianne Williamson calls positively deny what that person has said or done. That doesn't mean denial like we all are very familiar with, but positively deny, like I deny you to influence and distract me for what's important and who I am. Because I might come out of a business meeting or something, and after what people have said or whatever, or blamed me, throw me under the bus, whatever might have happened, I'm not going to go home to my kids and share that with them. We need more people in balance than out of balance. We need to look for opportunities and ways so we can counterbalance where it's out of balance. So positively denying the power of something else to distract me and try to, flow through me in that way. I don't attach to it. I don't attach when somebody says something that I don't agree with, that I know that's not true. I don't attach to it. I don't make it my identity. I don't say that's who I am because that's what that person said about me. No, I don't. So remembering that to not take things personally and to positively deny. The World Cup was recently. Hopefully you guys saw at least memes about it, if not the matches themselves. Ellen DeGeneres used to have this really funny little piece that I will not do justice. In the 90s, before she got totally huge, and it was talking about how she would walk down the sidewalk and, when you just trip, you just try to look like you're a smooth operator and you trip and you're just like, yeah, I meant to do that, it's just stretching, I'm thinking that we have a choice every time that we're just walking along doing our thing and we trip, and we could either do the smooth move thing like Ellen DeGeneres, or we could be like a World Cup, soccer player. We roll and we roll and we roll and we roll and we grab our legs and we scream in agony when there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. But we got attention for about 20 seconds. And then we got a meme, made out of our roll. There was one player that was in Brazil. It was like this player just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And that's drama. And time is precious. So that's one of the first things that I do, is I remember not to take things personally. I positively deny the power of and the influence of what other people say or do. Because I remember my center. Second thing, the affirmation today, I want to reread one of the lines in it. This is from Reverend Deborah's booklet. She wrote the affirmation. And this is about thanking universe for all of it. All of it. And this ties to what we were talking about being always blessed. I embrace all of me, finding strength in what I have grown to understand. I am grateful for all lessons, no matter how much I may have resisted them at the time. This too shall pass. I love who I am, and I wouldn't trade being who I am for all of the world. Because today is the culmination of my entire life experience. You are a result of choices made for you, with you, through you. How do we know a mountain if we don't know a valley? How do we know sadness if we don't know joy? Honor what universe shares with us as information through emotions. I read a poem called House Guest by Rumi last time. I encourage you to look that up. Emotions are information. The experience of those emotions are guideposts. They're advice. It's counseling. They're not bad. They're letting you know. They're giving you a heads up when they're shooting off flares. They're giving us a heads up of something that is out of alignment, that we're out of balance. So what is it? It's just energy, and it needs to flow through us so we can release it and let it go. That's all it's there for. Giving us a heads up. You're a little off here. Let's feel our way through this. Reverend Deborah talks about feel, deal, heal. And a lot of books and talks and stuff will spend a lot of time at the healing part. But don't let go of the sanctity of the feeling. Sit in it. Be with it. It's a gift. And you might be going through something right now that feels really, really raw. A little too close for home right now, but you're here for a reason on a day like today with the music that's being offered today, with the theme and the topic that's being offered today. You're here for a reason. You're here on purpose. The hardest part is feeling and then dealing with it, dealing with the emotions. But they're all just guideposts. They're all just pieces of advice. And it's all okay. And we are made out of all of it, and being grateful for all of it. So as stuff has come up recently, I wish I could get into details, but we're in real time, so I can't. I'm sure it'll end up in a talk later. But when stuff has come up that has been really, really serious stuff, and I know some people around me have thought, you're not taking this very seriously because you're awfully calm. Did you hear what I said? Don't confuse my calm with not taking it seriously. To some people, my calm is scary. Like, what are you doing? What are you going to do? But it's a knowingness. That's all it's happening, is a knowingness. Another one of Reverend Deborah's phrases that has meant everything to me recently is pain pushes until vision pulls. Pain pushes until vision pulls. We were just talking about sitting in the pain. Allow the pain. Don't let anyone tell you how long you should be in pain. You get to decide. I've even apologized to some of my friends, some of my tribe, saying, I know I've been crying for the last year and a half, but can I just come over and have dinner and just cry some more? But my tribe is the bomb. And they're like, Kim, it's okay. Because you know what? That time that I was crying on Tuesday at 5, that's one less time I'm crying about that same thing. That's 100 less tears that I'm going to be shedding about that thing. It's building my character. Almost got myself. The inner critic can come in and start judging. I don't have much of an inner critic anymore, thank you, God. But it has come up when it gets super challenging. It wants me to feel bad for still going through this. Aren't you over this yet? What, another round of this? You've already gone through, you've bought stock in Kleenex, so. My tribe has patience. I have patience. And as people may come and go, moods may swing, I don't attach on any of that. I attach on my vision. I attach on what's constant, what is never changing. I build my house on the rock. That flares may be thrown, cartwheels might be happening all around me. World War III could be going off saying, look at me, be distracted with my stunts and what I'm saying and insults that I'm hurling or allegations or whatever it may be. There's all kinds of stuff that might be going on around us, but I stay focused on my vision. That's how I'm getting through this. I will not let go of my vision. And I know that whatever drama du jour, whatever drama is going on in the moment, will pass. It is temporary. And that my vision and who I want to be in the world and how I am the hands and the arms and the legs and the voice for God, I'm an embodiment of where love comes out. Love is looking for channels. I want to be that channel. Sign me up. We don't need any more people out of balance. We need people in balance. And as stuff comes in, okay, feel, deal, heal. Be a testimony, but never let go of the vision. Reverend Deborah said a couple weeks ago, never make big decisions when you're in pain pushes. Because that's when we're disabled, right? We don't see clearly when we're in pain. That's when we're reactionary. We hurt people, right? We're not in balance. We're not stable. And pain takes as long as pain needs to take. But then there's a tipping point that happens. It's like a seesaw. You know, when a seesaw is out of balance, somebody's in the air and somebody's in the dirt. Right? But as soon as we get through and continue to keep attached to the vision and not the drama, everybody can fly free. Marianne Williamson has been on this campaign lately to remind us that too many women have been girls. Too many men have been boys. And this is a time, just like your song, so beautifully timed, this is the time to stand for something. In order to stand for something, we got to be balanced, right? I mean, yeah, sure, we can stand. We can stand. We can balance. For how long? We can stand a lot stronger here. but we need to stand for something. We need to be the counterbalance to what is out of balance. And we get to control, we can't control other people, but we can absolutely control how we are handling what's going on in our lives and in the world. Right? So the more of us that can work on this and get more balanced and be able to stay in balance, and it's okay to be out of balance when you need to be out of balance. Pain pushes until vision pulls. Allow the vision to pull you and not distract you. Do not be distracted by what is true. Love is true. Healing is true. Peace is true. Joy is true. And it only lives, not only, we got animals and beautiful flowers, but we are a part of the ecosystem for love and joy and peace to show up. I don't want to participate in the negativity. I have constant invites to do so and stay on the drama triangle. I positively deny that invitation. No. That's not who I want to be in the world. That's not how I want to show up. That's not how I want to raise my kids. I got myself paid. One less tear about this. So I just really encourage us to remember these things. And I know that I did acronyms the first 2 talks I did. So if you're an acronym fan, this one won't make any sense. So I came up with a couple different versions. So if you have an aunt named Bev, this will come in handy. Be aware. Be aware of when you're out of balance. Acknowledge it. And if you don't want to be alone to go through it, find some tribe. This Inner Light community right here, yo, solid as a frickin' rock. Prayers right over here after service. Do not leave here with a heavy heart. You can call in, you can email in. There's people here for you. You're never alone. But acknowledge that when you're out of balance. Acknowledge it, be honest about it. I'm out of alignment. I got to take a break. Or can I talk about this? Or can I cry for the 4,000th time? Acknowledge it. It's there as information as a counselor. It's there for us. It's gifts. It's a gift. And not to be stuffed down. It's to be released. It's just energy, and energy transforms. That's all it is. And then express. We got B, and then we got E. Express. Allow it to be. And V, Bev. Vision pulls. Decide what your vision is. And then know that it's this, Lord, or something better. So be open to it being adaptable. And we might have the fear of the unknown. We might have the fear of the unknown. And that's okay, because we know what the rock is that we are building our vision on, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So please, join me in being as conscious and as awake as you humanly can. We are spirits and having a human experience. So having self-compassion around the humanity is a good thing, and sharing that with others. But how we show up, Jill Bolte Taylor talks about when she was in recovery from a stroke. She's a neuroscientist having a stroke. It was a fantastic book and a TED Talk. I encourage you to see it. When she was in recovery, having to relearn language and how to eat and all of that stuff, people would come and visit her in the hospital room, and when she would be unconscious, she would notice that when people came into the room, if they came in all pissed off and carrying emotional baggage and had a bad day or were hungry or hangry, or whatever it was, she felt that like exponentially. So her ask was, in the book and at the time, was, let's be responsible for the energy that we bring into a room. Let's be walk-in conscious. So when we walk into that meeting, when we walk in to have lunch with our kids, when we go in to visit our parents, whatever it may be walking conscious. Bev. Long live Bev. Will you join me in prayer? Thank you. I hope this was helpful. Okay. Heather, would you mind doing something vocal in the background of the prayer? Can we welcome Heather Houston to the stage? Red, yellow, Heather. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Are we on? Okay.
As we close our eyes, I'm going to let Heather take us into a deeper meditation, and then I'll come back in. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to feel all of our feelings and make it through. That all of it is guidance, that all of it is true, and it's all temporary. And it reminds us to stay focused on our vision and trust you. One of the biggest things I've gotten out of the last couple of years is trust. Trusting in God. Trusting in universe. Trusting in something that is built on the rock. That is never changing. Trusting in timing. Oh my God, how I've been challenged with that around trust and timing. I want this thing now. I want this thing wrapped up now. But no, it's not the right time, and I need to trust that. Because there's more growing for me to do to get ready for that manifestation. Universe has a bigger picture of what's going on than where my perception is and where I'm sitting. There's a lot more to the story. There's a lot more characters to the story that are going to play a role. And I need to allow things to line up. Mars is in retrograde right now, y'all. That means people are combustible. They're fiery. And it's our job to remember our center and to be the cool, calm waters. To keep things calm, to help people remember who they are. Maya Angelou talks about my secret. I remember I'm a child of God. That's all we have to remember, and that we're taken care of, and we're going to be okay. And everyone around us that's a part of this, and will soon be a part of this or impacted by this, it's going to be okay. Trust. People come, people go, moods swing, but focus on your vision. Hold on to your vision and stand for something. But you need to be in balance to stand for something. But this is a time that we got to stand for something. Show up. It's time to show up. We got this. Because we are connected with our core and our core beliefs and our core trust in the universe, whatever we call it. And we got each other. So we got this.